Go out in the world and be somebody.
The views and opinions expressed on Live at the Barbershop are entirely those of the host, guest, and caller and do not reflect the opinions of Live at the Barbershop or its staff. Viewers' discretion is advised. The following podcast is intended for mature audiences only and contains adult content, graphic language, strong sexual content, and a whole lot of shit talking. So in other words, get your kids out the room.
Live at the Barbershop with your hosts, Misha J, Aaliyah, Black Republican, and those two crazy Caribbean guys from the Q&N show, Norris and Q. Now, the man of the hour, Mr. HNIC, Mr. Sleep When You're Dead, Hustle Now, the magnificent.
Yo, son. What's up with all that?
I was just trying to amp it up, you know, like...
Oh, okay, all right, yeah, I'm all right, I'm with that.
John, live at the Barbershop Podcast.
Welcome back. Friday before V-Day.
It's Thanksgiving. I mean, what I almost
Thanksgiving.
I almost said Thanksgiving weekend. That's
how long. That's how long he been out of a relationship. Thanksgiving.
You know what? Damn, you basically. No. Basically, it is Thanksgiving weekend.
Depending on what you trying to stuff. Listen to you.
It is Thanksgiving weekend.
That's how long he been out the mix.
It is Thanksgiving weekend.
Yo,
hey, it's give and take this weekend.
some are getting thankful. Listen, pre Valentine's Day weekend, it's like the Super Bowl. You heard? Listen to me. Special guest for today. Oh, Dr.Delvena. Oh my gosh. But before we get to that, I am a host for today. My name is John. To the left of me, I'm not even going to introduce. You introduce yourself.
You have Norris sitting to the left of John. Wearing a green shirt and a black hat. Oh, man.
There it is. Nisha J is in the building. What's good?
Hey, folks. How's everyone?
All good, baby. Valentine's Day. Let's get it.
Aaliyah. She got a red already.
Aaliyah's in the building. What's good? She got that Valentine's Day look on her face like she about to get it.
Somebody.
Hello, everybody.
Hey up already.
What's good? And last but not least, Sassy. Sassy's in the building. Valentine's Day. What it do? Everyone's good? Y'all got it all mapped out, huh? Yeah, you think so? My special guest for tonight, she'll set everything straight. We'll see how well you have it all mapped out for Valentine's Day, because the fellas out here, I know the females on the panel wanted to ask Dr. Delvena personal questions, certain questions dealing with Valentine's. Initially, I said I was going to do a Valentine's Day show where we talk about, couples and all that, but nah, everybody's doing that. So we decided to kind of flip it up a little bit different. So without further ado, our special guest for tonight, Dr. Delvena. Thank you very much. Dr. Delvena's in the building.
Hey.
Good
Hey,
night.
what's going on?
Okay, how you doing tonight?
I'm well. How's everybody?
I'm good. Everyone else?
It's Friday.
Welcome.
It's Friday, the weekend.
Happy Valentine's Day.
I don't celebrate that, so
that's what I'm talking about.
I understand, but
it's a waste of a weekend.
It's the show.
There it is.
Not caught up in all this pagan stuff.
Yeah.
I like her already. Yes.
Misha, why are you looking like that?
Because you say you don't celebrate it.
Who came up with Valentine's anyway?
I want to know why.
Yeah.
Why should I celebrate a holiday that's created to spend money?
Exactly.
And yeah, it's like I get love every day of the year. There's no need for Valentine's Day.
That's why I wanted to ask, because a lot of people say I feel like that with most other holidays. They were created for not just for. They were created to spend, basically.
Yeah.
And those holidays should be expressed every day, not just a specific day.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
But with that being said, since it's every day, we want to know how often you get celebrated for Valentine's Day.
I get celebrated every day. I just got 20 dozen of roses. Like, I got 10 dozen on Friday delivered to my office, and I got another 10 dozen on Tuesday. So I have roses all over my house.
That's nice.
That's what I'm talking about. That's nice.
Every
That's
day.
nice.
You know, you're right. That should be happening every day anyway, to show your love for the individual. So we shouldn't really wait for that one day.
I mean, not only flowers alone, but show your love every day to that.
Everything, and you know, and it has to be reciprocated. You got to treat your king how you want your king to treat you. You know, you got to show him, you got to pamper him, you got to appreciate him. When you do that, you put in that energy, you get it back. If you're not getting it back, you got to cut his ass. As in, not literally cut him, but just drop him. You have to drop him.
I was gonna say, be careful when you cut. No. Reason being, we got Edward Scissorhand on the panel with us, so you got to be real careful. Edward Scissorhand.
I am not endorsing violence. I just mean don't waste your time. Don't stay in a rotten ass relationship. Is all I'm saying.
She mean what I mean when I say cut.
You see that?
Fact.
Yes.
Okay, now
and if she, hold on. And if she ain't doing the same to him, cut her
ass too. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know why people spend their money on this holiday. It makes no sense to me. And you know, women actually get upset because their dude is not taking them to dinner or didn't plan something special. Why? Why should he do that? This is probably, I think, next to Christmas, this is the most financially advantageous holiday for everybody else who does not own a business, that's not in the restaurant business, that's not in the bar business, that's not in the card, like the Hallmark business. And so it really makes somebody else's pockets fatter, not your own. So we got to be about ourselves, making our pockets fatter, not getting somebody else fat.
I mean, that just depends on how you celebrate it. If you going out, everybody don't go out and spend money doing that. Some people stay home, have a nice dinner. Have a nice dinner and just stay at home and just enjoy each other's company. So it just depends on what people do, because everybody don't go out and spend money.
Yeah, but I can have a nice dinner. I have a nice dinner every other day. Yeah, right. So it's not about Valentine's.
Yeah.
Yeah, we dudes, we want to see that one day too, because you know,
if you don't
we dudes ain't see it. You know, we don't see the nice dinners that often. You know what I mean? What you mean? What?
I don't want.
You don't like TV dinners?
You know what I'm saying? We come in, you get that little. Oh, your food's in the microwave. Right. It's like, we want to see that. You know, that restaurant sometimes too.
On the table.
So I do
want to say,
the king will treat back. Facts.
Exactly. I want to say I'm digging the little Kim on the wall. That's old school little Kim.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm digging the little Kim on the wall like that.
Thank you very much. You know, when we created the studio and everything, and we brought it, some of them, that's not appropriate. I'm like, listen, it's staying.
Exactly.
You understand?
Yeah.
If the guest got a problem, you don't need to be here. This is the movement. This is what it is.
Yeah.
Facts.
Because it really could lead to so many conversations about different things. You know, that's old school little Kim. You guys are probably much younger than I am. You know. So
we're in the same age group. We're all in the same age group.
You may not know old school little Kim.
No, he used to babysit little Kim.
Why you huh? Why you got to point over here?
I'm just saying.
You point at me, but guess what? You got 4 fingers pointing back at your ass.
Listen, I died when I heard, what's his name? Norris.
Yeah.
When he said Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Yes.
It is Thanksgiving weekend.
Thanksgiving weekend.
It is Thanksgiving weekend. So, hey.
So, Dr. Delvena, let's get straight to the point.
Okay. All right.
You know what I'm saying? This is what we're talking about right now. And I know I don't want to take it over. The females said they wanted to throw these different things at you and get the answers to it. So I'm going to let them take over right now. And then we'll come back in and throwing our 2 cents, or because men, we don't really count. So I'm just gonna let y'all
unless
take
we spending
this.
that money on that weekend.
Go ahead. Sassy.
Well, a lot of relationships start to kind of fizzle, fazzle. You might have one party saying, I'm very sexually active, and the other one is like, I'm tired, I ain't got time for you. Talk to us a little bit about sexual mismatch in relationships. How do we address that, identify it, heal it?
Sexual mismatch.
Yeah. That's a good question. That's a very good question. And there should be no sexual mixed matches, right? If everyone is upfront and honest and transparent in the very beginning, oftentimes someone is misrepresenting in the relationship in the beginning. Misrepresenting meaning they go with the flow in the beginning, and then once they feel like they secured the relationship, because someone can only pretend for so long. We believe people pretend for about 90 days, and then they start slipping. And so if you're in a relationship and either the man or the woman has misrepresented from the beginning and pretends like, oh yeah, I like to have sex every day. Yeah. No, let's do it. Whatever. They can only uphold that facade for so long. And eventually they run out of gas. And when they run out of gas, that's when the problems begin. So this is why I say folks should not jump into relationships. You should not be fast to make someone your man or to make someone your woman. You should really get to know them and see if you guys are actually complementary to one another. Sex is a very important thing in a relationship. Of course, relationships should not be based on booty and ass and booty and tits, whatever. But it's a part of it. It's a factor. And so, I mean, the reason why some people will talk to you or want to meet you is based on how you look, if they're attracted to you or not, if they like your face, if they like your body, whatever it is. So if there's a sexual mixed match, I say do not move forward. That's a relationship I would not stay in, especially if sex is important to you. And it's one of those things where people have to be willing to, if someone likes to have sex a little more than you, are you willing to make the sacrifice and have sex on a night when ordinarily you wouldn't do it? Like sometimes men are a little more sexual than women. There are times when it's the other way around, depending, and all of that too, age has a lot to do with that. So anatomically, physiologically, men have a high sex drive when they're younger. Their sex drive is higher up until like into their 30s. I would say probably up until 40, depending. And that's based on testosterone levels as well. So hormones have a lot to do with men, and they especially have a lot to do with women. And unfortunately with women, our hormones cycle a lot. Guys have it a little easier when it comes to that because you have one level of testosterone, it pretty much stays the same. But with women, we have estrogen where we got to be concerned about, progesterone, prolactin, our testosterone, and all of these things have to be in perfect sync for things to go well, for things to work out. There are certain times of the month where we feel very sexual, and there may be other times of the month when we feel like I'm just not with it right now. So you got to be honest with one another. And sometimes you got to meet your partner halfway. Sometimes it's 70% of the way.
I have a question. So when you say take time with the relationships, how do you explain our ancestors when they were like 16 and 17 and they just was together for years and years and years? How do you explain that versus saying taking time to get to know somebody?
We evolve. That's my explanation. Evolution. And during that time, people were in relationships and they had 2 and 3 people on the side, especially the men, maybe not the women. And the women weren't happy. A lot of the women were not happy. Have you guys seen Color Purple?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just going to say Color Purple.
That's it.
Color Purple.
It was purple.
Well, I mean, that's just a negative situation, though. What about the positive ones that people stayed together for years? Because I know people that got married at 16 and were married and had like 10, 15 kids and was still and stayed together until they passed on.
Yeah,
so
it
I mean,
happen.
I think it's a toss up. I wouldn't say, that I think there's sometimes where people may feel like, I think a lot of the slowness is about apprehension and people's insecurities with themselves or with other people that they have, that they want to take things longer or slower because of things they have to deal with. Because everybody has different issues that they have to deal with within themselves first before they can actually be with another person. And a lot of people don't address those things. They just jump in.
So nothing is ever always or never. You always have outliers. There's always a spectrum. So yeah, there are some people who get married and they're able to stay married and they're good. So that can happen. If you are, there's a thing called discipline. There's a lot of different factors, right? So a lot of times it's because someone's really not interested in being out there anyway. Some people don't like to date. Some people want to be in a relationship. They don't want to date. They don't like the unsettled feeling they have meeting new people. They don't want to try to meet new people. They don't want to go through the process of getting acquainted and getting to know someone. For other people, that's excitement. But for some people, they're good with just being with that one person. That's it. Even if that person cheats on them, spends all the money gambling, whatever the case may be, they're going to stay in that relationship because they don't like change. So relationships are not just about if I've been traumatized in the past, if I have the insecurities. It's also about whether or not somebody likes change. There's a lot of simple factors that go into this, and there are a lot of complicated things as well. Someone who wants to take their time to get to know someone, it doesn't mean that they have insecurities or that they're afraid of going forward or moving forward. Someone who's taking their time, to me, is a very intentional person who has insight into relationships and understands that they need not rush into anything, because you want to get to know someone. You cannot get to know everything about a person, such as their history, their childhood, their family dynamics, what they think about politics, what they think about religion, what would they do if, factor A happens? How do they react when they're stressed? How do they react when they have no money? How do they react when they lose their job? Like, you want to be able to sit back and watch these different scenarios so you can see how this person functions. Emotional intelligence is something that a lot of people have not developed because we don't do a lot of communicating. And we don't teach our children and we don't teach our family members how to express themselves.
Right. I understand clearly what you're saying. What I've learned in just in life in general is that you're not ever going to be able to know a person. Every situation that you can think of will not happen while you're with that person. So you may not be able to encounter that situation at any given time. And then I've also learned that when you meet somebody and and that person, say for instance, that person is 50 and I'm 30, or they're 50 and I'm 40, they have 50 years of history. I have 40 years of history. There's no way that I'm going to be able to cover 50 years of their history to know every detail about them, because I don't feel like you can ever get to know a person. I don't feel like you will ever get to know a person fully to where you know exactly what they're going to do when they're going to do it. I don't think that's humanly possible, because people have so many layers to them that it's impossible to know how they're going to react in every situation that comes up. Now, in maybe the majority of the situations, depending on how long you're around them, maybe you can tell that. In some you can't. That's why they're living with people that are serial killers and they don't even know. And they've been with them for years. I know him for 25 years, and I didn't know that he was around here killing me. I didn't think that he would do anything like that. He's the kindest person I ever met.
that's someone who's not attentive and doesn't pay attention to their environment and their surroundings. People will always show you who they are. They show you the red flags.
Yep.
It's up to you to have common sense and insight and be attentive to your environment and be able to pick up on things. Oftentimes people,
you can't just be blind to it.
Right.
She's froze.
Froze.
Perfect time to bring up narcissists.
Hold on, let me see if she comes back in.
Hold on.
Dr. Delvena, I'm not sure if you can hear us. You froze for a minute. If you want to log off and log back on. All right,
there we go.
Yeah, okay, what's going on this side?
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, as you're saying, as like I said, nothing is ever always or never. Nothing is ever 100%. So people, you got to base it off of patterns. You may not know exactly what someone's going to do in every scenario, but you can learn their patterns. You can learn their personality. And that's why I said you have to give it time. And you will learn that about a person. You may not know or be able to script out how they would react or respond to a situation, but if you watch and learn, you can learn their characteristics, their personality traits, and learn their patterns.
Fact.
I just believe, yeah.
Oh, okay. Nisha, you had anything for Dr. Delvena?
Yeah, I do have a question. What would be the best way to educate your children about intimacy?
Yeah. So, you know, there's an appropriate age for everything. I'm a person who does not believe in giving kids cell phones and smartphones. I'm old school. I feel like children should receive things at the appropriate ages. I wouldn't rush anything. Because when kids have, you know, smartphones and devices, they get access to information that they may not be ready for. And they learn information that they may not be ready to process. So at an appropriate age, you start talking about the body first. I would start talking first about the body. And I would start that discussion probably around the age of 8 for little girls. And around the age of 9, you know, somewhere in that same age range for boys. Girls and boys go through puberty differently, obviously, because the anatomy is different. So for boys, parents may notice that they're getting hair under their arms first. They may get a little hair in their genital area, which of course, once children are like in 4th and 5th grade, and some kids in 3rd grade, they don't want you to see them. So that's why pediatric well care visits are very important, because the pediatrician can examine them and ensure that they're developing the way that they're supposed to, that little boys, their penis is growing the way that it needs to be, that little girls, that they're seeing that their puberty stages are occurring the way that it's supposed to be. There's something called precocious puberty. That's when kids start puberty at an early age. So that's why welfare visits to the pediatrician are very important. As far as talking to them, you have to base that on a couple of different things. You have to base it on the development of their body. You have to base it on who are they around? What information are they hearing? What do they talk to you about? What are they asking you? I would start from a very young age, encouraging my child to talk to me about any and everything. Ask me questions. Never turn a child away who wants to talk or converse. If they have questions, always entertain their questions so they don't feel like I can't come to you and talk to you about anything. So when to start talking to them about that, it just depends on what their environment is like, where they're going to school. Sometimes being in public school, they're exposed to kids from all different socioeconomic levels, kids who may have smart devices, who may have access to a lot of different things. So you got to base it on a couple of different factors. Who are they around? What's in the dialogue when they're talking? How are their bodies developing? And then you start having the conversation. I think I was born in 1976. When I was in 5th grade, we had a class where they separated the boys and the girls, and they had like a little puberty class. They talked to us about menstruation. I'd already started menstruating. So my mother had that conversation with me because I started before the 5th grade. I started wearing a training bra in 3rd grade. So the conversation will be different depending on the development of your child.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have another question. This is something that over the years I've noticed that women have become more, how can I say, sexually
provided.
Well, back in my day, put like this, you were considered a hoe or a slut or what have you by being so sexually explicit, and it would become accepted, more nowadays than it was back in my day. Would you condone that activity versus hiding it? So like we went back to The Color Purple as for instance for that movie. They were it wasn't so sexually, the women weren't as sexually, how could I say, adventurous back then.
Did you see Shug?
Yes, I did. Well, Shug, yes, she was. But she was also in a club. She wasn't on the street, right? So for instance, and then we look back and we see Little Kim. You see that poster? Back in our day.
And that's why I brought it up. Yeah.
Right. So she was the first, I want to say, rapper that I can remember, other than Salt and Pepper.
And who was before them?
Millie Jackson. Well,
hello. Hey,
yeah, Millie Jackson. But a lot of people don't know that.
Yes, Millie Jackson.
Don't know. So my question is, or guest statement is, how do you feel about women being sexually open about their preferences? Rather, I think that's the gist of the question I'm trying to get to. And do you think that it comes with a backlash, basically?
Yeah, everything always comes with a backlash because everyone is not always going to agree with you. There will always be naysayers. Everything you do comes with a backlash. Everything. As far as women being sexually provocative, gets the bag. Everything comes down to money, green, dollars, the bills that fold. So these women are doing this not because they want you to see their bodies, but because they realize they're capitalizing on sexuality and they're getting paid on it. Meg Thee Stallion and Cardi B.
Right.
You know how many views they got on YouTube for that what's it called?
WAP.
Yeah. So they made a lot of money. When you make it that much money, that becomes almost addictive. It's like you can't go backward. And Little Kim, when you think about it, so why weren't Little Kim and Foxy Brown as successful? Why weren't they on that level of success? Why weren't
they were the what do you call it? Originators. When you're the first to do it, hey, start it.
Yeah, somebody has to crack it open. Yeah. And also you got to have crossover appeal. I don't think Little Kim and Foxy Brown crossed over to mainstream. White people weren't feeling Little Kim and Foxy Brown because they weren't just talking about sex and pussy. They were talking also about drugs and guns and shooting Negroes, and so they didn't have crossover appeal. Cardi B is Latina, so she crosses over there. She crosses over to blacks, to Caribbean, to African American, to whites. White people love her. It's like if you have that crossover appeal, and like brother said, Little Kim and Foxy were some of the first to do it. They had to, we already said before that was Millie Jackson and some others, but in terms of hip hop and Salt and Pepper, they had a backlash. Did you guys watch the Salt and Pepper?
Yeah, I did not. I have to watch it though.
Yeah, it was
because
I'm boycotting it. I'm boycotting it.
Why?
Because they didn't have Cinderella in it.
Oh, I see.
Oh yeah, I heard
crazy
that.
whack. You can't have something. She helped.
It wasn't about Cinderella though. It's Salt and Pepper. Salt and Pepper.
It was about
but still, she was part of the foundation.
No, she wasn't. No, she wasn't. She was an add-in.
Afterwards,
she was an add-in.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It does. She was an add-in. She was not an originator. She was not. Remember, in the base, she had no lyrics initially.
I know.
Was later when she kept pushing that they added her in, like with Shoop and some of those other songs.
But here's the problem with it that a lot of people don't understand. Let's bring it to the male counterparts. Let's say the Run DMC or the Rakim and Eric B and Rakim situation. You can't do a story with Run DMC without you adding Jam Master Jay in. And a lot of people may not know that behind closed curtains,
No.
Jam Master Jay is involved in a lot of things. They don't realize.
Everybody knows that. If you're a hip hop head, everyone knows that. But Jam Master Jay was a part of the group from the beginning. Spinderella was not. That's just the bottom line. She was not an original.
Filled in for another original Spinderella, understandable. But at the end of the day, still, when the second album and all that stuff came,
you gotta look at the creative process. She was probably not a part of the creative process when they wrote lyrics. She wasn't around. She was the first Spinderella, was late to practice all the time. So they added another Spinderella. The reason why I bring it up is because there was a scene in the movie where they were performing at the Essence Music Awards and they were asked not to perform None of Your Business.
Yeah.
And so back then, that was considered a risque song. If I want to do something with your man, it's none of your business. They were asked not to perform it because they felt it was disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
So someone had to, break down those doors. Yeah.
And I'm going to say this too. Even though he's a male, but Luke, when he made that song, "Shake What Your Mama Gave You," so that's what they're doing now. Cardi B and all them, they shaking what their mama gave them.
So they're doing it back then.
So, but then even though he got a lot of backlash for them type of songs, now a lot of females are singing those type of songs today.
Yeah, Cardi B
and all of them. So I mean, the sexual songs nowadays from back in the day, now it's the norm. Now it's accepted.
I think it just comes back around, and it comes back around harder. Everything just comes revolved and comes back around harder, no matter what it is.
Yeah,
and see,
in
that retrospect, and the reason the gist of the question is because we look at the young girls who listen to this, where I grew up with Little Kim and Salt and Pepper. I don't see myself emulating them as such, but these girls are following and repeating, and they're thinking it's acceptable, and this is becoming a problem. Hence, the first question I'm going to is, how do you teach a child what is acceptable and being sexually? And that's the whole thing. Like we unfortunately, the internet is
training your children.
That's right. And unfortunately, as parents who are working, who are probably don't have the time or what have you to tell the child right from wrong, we live in a society where what we was taught as sex education, now we have to revamp it to almost get them prepared for the internet. And how do we tell them that what you see on the television, on your phone is not acceptable, is acceptable, or there's a time and place for it? It's just that conversation has to be revamped for our generation to teach our kids.
Also, remember too now, you might teach them at home, but their friends are also teaching them in the school. Because
that's true.
That's what Talker's teaching them.
Because I know I got taught in school.
That's why
everybody else.
I told my kids early.
You don't give her cell phones, but their friends at school got cell phones, and trust me, when they're
gonna share it.
It comes down to you and how effective you are as a parent. That's what it comes down to. If you're a limp dick, your kids are not going to mind you.
There is a rapper by that name, Limp Dick.
You gotta teach them discipline, because my dad used to tell me all the time, "You think you're Janet Jackson, but you're not. You don't have Janet Jackson money." So, you have to learn. You got to teach your kids discipline. I thought I should have this, have that. He was like, "Nah, that's Janet Jackson. That's TV. This is real life." Don't get me wrong. Like, I got stuff like the little flavors, the Reeboks, the Felines and all that. But every time Salt and Pepper came out with a new outfit and had on a little bodysuit and all that, I was going to put that on. Nah, my mother was like, nah, we don't do that here. So you just have to basically mind your children. You got to rear your kids and teach them this is television. These people have
entertainment.
It's entertainment.
Yes.
Even on regular television, the sexual content is out there.
Yeah.
You got no disrespect, but you got men kissing men, women kissing women, and all that. And then ask that question,
Yeah.
I know when my kids were young, I set all of them down, and they were young, and I showed them pictures of STDs. I showed them, talked to them about sex. I talked to them about kissing and all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I did that is because these kids learn as early as elementary school.
Yeah.
They're in school talking about, and the girls are the ones who are the biggest ones that's pushing it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
Yeah.
So
I let them know girls early. Under control out here. Get these little girls under control because they are fast.
Right. Yeah.
But I was never fast. I'm just saying.
Me either, Nisha. I wasn't either.
They pleading the fifth already.
Look, what about you,
fast?
Sassy, were you fast?
Pleading the fifth already.
I'm a Catholic school girl, so no.
Oh my
God. None of y'all say that. Do not say that. Do not say that.
John, you know.
Yes. Do not say that, please.
Catholic school.
I think the key point that should be expressed is that with every action comes a repercussion. And in this instance, this is definitely true as such. You know, you say, and I just remember me being in high school and trying to emulate and thinking in my mind, oh my God, one day, if I could just wake up to be just like Janet Jackson and be sexy as she is. But all the repercussions behind that with the thoughts and wanting to dress like her came the followers of boys of stuff I just couldn't handle. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, that truly would be part of the conversation of, you know, you see Cardi B.
Right.
Something wrong with that mic.
Her sound.
Oh, your mic.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You see Cardi B and you see Megan Stallion. That look, all of that comes with the attention that you may not be able to handle.
Yeah.
You know, and unfortunately, that's just the truth. It's just the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Because even their body is kind of a little bit, I mean, enhanced. Not so much as Megan Thee Stallion, but Cardi B.
Cardi,
Yeah, Cardi B is very enhanced.
Yeah,
she got.
She admitted she got her ass done, tits done.
She ain't the first. I mean, everybody out there, a lot of the females out there doing it now. I mean, the stars. I mean, shit.
Well, now since we're talking about all these stars and we're talking about all these different things now, we had a conversation prior to this, and you educated me that there is no real such thing as a sex addict.
Yeah.
So now, what is it now? When all right, do you believe in the zodiac sign and the sexuality part of it with the zodiac sign? Because you know they'll say like, you know, this zodiac sign is like that, and that zodiac sign is this. So do you think that
Libra is a this or the Aquarius or this and all that? Yeah,
don't say that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like Scorpios love sex, all that stuff.
I heard that. Yeah, Libra. I heard that too. Yeah.
Oh, you got Scorpio.
Gotta run it high, Scorpio.
Raise your hand if you're a Scorpio.
Yeah, I'm a
Aaliyah, are you a Scorpio?
What can I say?
I've heard that about Libras too.
I'm only once a weaker.
Say again. You're a what?
I'm a once a weaker.
I'm gonna get to you.
I don't know. That's on a whole nother.
We're gonna get there. Well, okay, you're asking about horoscopes and zodiac. So I'm an Aquarius. Sassy, what are you?
Taurus.
Okay, Aaliyah. Your sign?
Answer the question.
I'm a Pisces.
Pisces, okay. Niche?
I'm a Cancer.
Dang, okay. And so, John, you're a
Scorpio.
Norris?
Libra.
Dang, we got one of everybody's different. Okay.
That's why he keep mentioning Libra. I don't know why he keep mentioning Libra. I'm like,
you got a problem with that?
I got a problem with that. I don't like Libra.
Hey, homeboy.
Go ahead. All right, doctor.
So, you know, they're fun to read. Horoscopes and zodiacs is fun to read. I do think that, for January to occur, she said everybody knows Scorpios are Oh Lord. I have engaged some freaks and they weren't all Scorpios. Listen.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anybody, you can teach a dog new tricks. Anybody.
Thank you.
Yeah. So
I'm
I
glad
don't
you
believe
cleared
that.
that up.
Like, yeah, it's not that concrete. And really, if you consistently read these things, sometimes they say the same type stuff about everybody. However, I will say this, there are times like when I read my own zodiac sign and it tells you the characteristics, I'm like, oh my God, yes, that's me. That's so, but I don't read the horoscope every day. I don't do that. But I do believe like, yeah, the planet was tilted a certain way during January and, the sun was doing certain stuff and the moon was doing certain things and the water, the tide was doing something. There may be some energy, some type of energy there, for people who deliver babies in those timelines or during those time zones. So I believe there's a little something there. And also it goes along with everything else, child rearing, how you were raised, what you've been exposed to, your personality, all that stuff comes into play.
So now let's diagnose the once a weeker because we've been trying to tell her for a long time.
The
once a weeker.
Why do I have to be diagnosed?
Yeah, why does she have to be diagnosed?
Hold on.
The once a week up in the right hand corner up there.
Jan Brady. No, because Dr. Delvena said she would get to you right after. So
exactly. Go ahead.
Her say when she want to get to it. You don't have to initiate.
I'm not initiated. I'm just saying. We've been trying to figure that out for months. So now we have we have a professional in the building. So we gotta finalize this now. You know what I'm saying? That's all.
Find out.
That's it. Dr. Delvena.
Aaliyah, how old are you?
Damn.
What?
40.
Have you always been a once a weeker?
Pretty much. I never had a high sex drive.
Okay. I'll say this. Once weekly, I can't even get it out. Shit. Once weekly is all right. It's all right. It's less than average. It's less than average. But once weekly is all right because, your partner has something to look forward to once a week.
Damn.
I don't know if it's always on a Sunday, if it's changed on a week.
I can't wait that long.
Now, what I will say, you cannot be in a relationship with someone in their 20s or their 30s because once a week ain't going to work. You'll be arguing and fussing and fighting all the time. Even a man in his 40s may want it more than once a week.
Yeah.
You may have to get you a cat in his 50s and his 60s, something like that, when the testosterone has started to tank.
Yeah, but you still got some cats in there.
I never had an issue.
That shit more than once a week.
So, and that's good. It could just be that your partner has decided to compromise and accept that once a week must be bang, bang, bang.
All day, all night.
Just all that. You make that once a week count. That once a week counts. I guess one time a week and it's on is better than 3 times a week. That's garbage.
It better be all day, all night.
Or half sleep.
And people have their reasons. You said you've never had a high sex drive. I'm not one of these people that believe that we're born with a certain type of sex drive and that's what we have. It can change. Obviously, I mentioned for women, it can change a lot. And so it can change with age, it can change within the month, it can change within the year, it can change within a quarter. It fluctuates.
You know what I think kind of happened with me? I went for a long time without sex.
Yeah, that's the problem right there. I tell y'all to stop doing that.
No, this is what I think happened. I think by me going that length of time without sex, I mean, if you're a virgin, you have to think you don't have sex. So I don't.
You can't miss what you never had.
Right.
My dad tell me that all the time. You can't miss what you never had. Keep the legs closed.
Right. But when that happened, I think it kind of like changed the whole dynamic for me. It's never been just about sex for me. It's been more of a mental thing. So if the mental is not in sync with me, then it's like I'm inoperable.
Okay.
So
Okay. Damn. Feel bad for you, but it's okay. Okay.
I'm good though.
Yeah, we're different. How long did you go without any sex?
Well, I was 18 when I lost my virginity.
Okay.
And when I think as soon as I had sex, we started having sex, I got pregnant. So I had my son, and then I had my daughter like 2 years after that, and then I went a stretch for like 2 years.
Okay.
Without
Wow.
Okay.
That's a long ass time.
Who said that?
Yeah.
Nisha J said that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Who said that? Nisha said
Yeah.
that?
You know.
Yo, you know if Nisha
But I
say
mean,
that,
that's only if you're addicted to sex, Nisha.
She said that there's no addiction. So, Dr. Delvena, if there's no true identifiable sex addiction, what is it? Is it just cheating?
So there are other things. There's no formal diagnosis of sexual addiction. There's other underlying issues typically. Like sometimes people have different types of compulsions, or maybe there was a history of sexual trauma or of some sort. There's different things that can drive that. Anxiety issues. So that's why they have to see a psychotherapist, so that person can peel back those layers and tease out what's going on and why they're using sex to cope. It's just like people who use gambling to cope, alcohol, weed, cocaine, smoking cigarettes. It's no different. Some people cope by engaging in sex. Some people have never felt love, and sometimes for them, their brain translates love and intimacy, or intimacy as love, and so they get used to and dependent upon having that interaction with another person, that sexual interaction, whether they're in a meaningful relationship or not.
I have a question though.
Mm-hmm.
So have you ever watched Married at First Sight?
I don't think so.
So it was a girl on there, and her and the guy had got married, and that was their first time meeting, and they got married. So on the show, she was having like issues with, like, he would talk about like what she liked, like, do you like to kiss, or do you like to be touched here, or touched there? And she would like be like, ugh, like, I don't want to talk about that. Next subject. So she was like totally turned off from talking about anything that had to do with intimacy or sex.
Divorce.
Yeah.
Cut her off.
See, that's why you got to get to know someone. That's why
she was a virgin. She was a virgin too, as well. So
what's she doing on that show? Why would you go on a show such as that, Married at First Sight?
When they got married, they had their honeymoon night. She said, "Surprise, I'm a virgin." But and she still didn't engage in anything sexual though with him. Wow. So the whole 3 months that they were living together and staying together, that she was not intimate with him, none whatsoever.
Yeah, a lot of married men go through that. They get on punishment. You know, they have an argument with their wife, and their wife put them on punishment for 2 to 3 months. They get nothing.
Married.
Talk a little bit about that, Dr. Delvena. What is that about?
That's bogus. You never ever barter with sex. That's in the rules. That's in the rules. You never barter with sex. You do not use sex as a way to punish someone. What's that, Nisha?
I said, where are these rules?
Yeah, that was in the video I made about how a woman should treat her man.
Your body is his body.
Your body. I didn't say that now. I didn't say your body is his body, but I said when he comes home, don't get at him. Don't start complaining. Don't start asking questions. Let him come in the door. Let him relax and unwind. Get down on your knees. Suck his dick.
Yeah, right.
I also said never barter with sex. I said to give it to him from the back. Don't always do it missionary style. I said turn on the lights. Let him see you nude. Let him see you in the light.
Silhouette.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the rules. Those were the rules.
Silhouette.
But I got a question. It's an age-old question. One of the age-old questions.
What's the what?
It's an age-old question. Do size matter females? Hey.
I already answered that question.
What did he say? The size of the penis?
Yes, doesn't matter. Yes,
it matters. The size of the penis? No.
The Dr. Aaliyah.
Thank you.
Let the doctor answer.
She answered. No,
I ain't hear answer because you cut her off.
Because guess what? Some man who's big don't even know how to use it, and they can't even please you, and they big.
Yeah. So it depends on who you are and whether or not it matters. If you're just someone who wants to engage sexually, you don't care about anything, and that's what you're stuck on is a big D, then yeah, it may matter to that person. But really, in the big scheme of things, oh boy. Yeah. Well, it depends on her vulva. Yeah, it may matter. Shoot, it may matter. It depends on the one. It may matter because if he's teeny tiny, there's something called a micro penis.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, that's an actual diagnosis. That's an actual diagnosis. It's this big. It's that big. It's that big. So if you're a woman and you gotta have it inside and you want to feel his fullness inside, then this is going to be a problem.
Yes, it is.
Hold on, Dr. Delvena. I gotta throw this one in. The micro penis that I saw Nisha J. Now, Dr. Delvena, I know you're in South Florida, so I know you've eaten like Jamaican food and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Have you eaten a thing called stew peas?
Stewed peas?
Stew peas. Stew peas.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay, so you know when you see the little dumpling that they roll up in the
spinners.
Spinners.
All right. The spinners, yeah. The little dumpling.
It's smaller than that.
It's like that.
It's not even that big. Yeah. Okay.
Damn.
So it depends.
Micro.
Yeah, it's tiny. It's like an inch or less.
Hold up, the men that got that.
I see.
Yeah. I'm telling you, you have to be thankful. When you're feeling down and out, if you don't have a micro penis, be thankful for what you have. If you have everything else is wrong, be thankful. I have a son, right? So when my son was little, I used to look to ensure that he was developing properly. The sad thing about it, and this is a sad thing, with women, we can go and get all kinds of stuff done to our bodies. And this is why I feel bad for men. If you have a micro penis, there's really nothing you can do.
Wow.
Because the way the penis is made, even if they add tissue or something like that, it's not going to be erect. You can't make it erect because there's no blood vessels going to that tissue. There's no way to create that. So I feel really bad for men who have to endure this. They have to work around it and find a woman who is okay with it. And that's usually a woman who doesn't have to have size.
They can't get implants?
The implant won't work. They can get it just for show. They could get it for show, but they have these pumps. The pumps don't work.
They just won't have any feeling behind it.
Yeah, they won't feel it, and then also it won't get erect. There's no way to create that natural blood flow into that fake tissue and even you can't use real tissue because it won't be viable. It won't be alive because it's not. Right. It's not connected to any blood flow. So to just be a big limp tinkling.
Are they able to impregnate a woman though still?
Well, it depends on how it's made. Probably not, because if you have a big ball of tissue.
I'm talking about the micro penis.
Oh yeah. It still functions. They can pee. They can ejaculate out of it. It still works.
Oh.
Yeah, it still functions. They can still put it inside. They can put it inside. If you're a woman who you're more about clitoral stimulation to help you orgasm, they can put it inside and from his body rubbing her clitoris, that will help and she'll be able to climax.
And there are some women that don't want the stimulation, but they'll do everything else too.
Yeah. And so you just have to find that fit. You know, you just have to get acquainted with the person and determine. And some women don't like sex. Some women only have sex once a week. So you know,
once a year. There's some that only have once a year.
I'm kidding.
That would probably work out. That probably
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm so kidding. I'm so sorry. No. But yeah, it may be someone, because some women don't like sex, period, at all. At all.
For the men now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pause from the females. I know you got a couple of questions. I got a couple of questions. Okay. So like for me now, what I want to find out now, because you have some circumstances where the men don't want to have sex, and these females start going buck wild.
Yeah.
And they start telling you all sorts of stuff. Oh,
you gay or something?
You gay? Or you or you know what's the other one? You know, oh, you don't want all of this. Something must be wrong with you. And it's like, hold up, can I just
That's how they be sounding?
Is that a woman you're in a relationship with?
Well, not the one speaking. I'm just saying.
Talking about a football player?
Say that again.
That sounds like a football player.
Is this a new woman or this is someone you're in a relationship with?
No, just women.
No,
I'm just saying. It's just a question.
I plead the fifth.
No. That matters though. That matters, right? Because I talk to guys and they'll say they meet a woman. Do you know how many women throw themselves at men?
A lot.
Yeah. Unattractive, attractive, fat, little, tall, skinny, whatever. Bad bodies, good bodies. They throw themselves at men, and they think that every man wants to have sex because you're a woman with a pussy. They want to hit it. That's what they think. Every man ain't interested in stroking. They don't want it. And so when you tell them no, oh, you must be gay. Or there must be a problem with you. What's wrong with you? You don't want this. So the amount of stories I hear from guys who, you know, who are in my care coming for treatment, and we have conversations, they talk about women throwing themselves at them. These women are out here embarrassing themselves. So what I would say to you, John, is that's a reverse. We call that informally. That's reverse psychology. That's a tactic to get you to do what they want you to do. Right. Now, if you're in a relationship, this is your girl, this is your lady, this is your wife, and she wants to be intimate, and you're saying no, then I would say, okay, if she says no to you, are you going to respect it, right? Because there has to be reciprocity. Right. So if you say no to her, the next time if she says no to you, will there be a problem? And you don't want to do that tit for tat thing either and going back and forth. Right. But we just have to respect one another. If someone says no, respect it. If a woman says no, respect it. A woman's not always going to want to consent. She may have things going on. Sex is can be emotionally connected. Some people can have sex and there's no emotional connection. There's no mental connection. Like Aaliyah was saying for her, she's a sapiosexual where it's all mental for her. Mm-hmm. It's all mental. And that may have, I've, admittedly, I've done it both ways. It's like, it's been with someone I'm not necessarily in a relationship, and it's been someone I really, truly care about, through the years. But so you just have to respect your significant other's decision.
My last question to you is why when a man and a woman in a relationship and they have an argument and it's the women's fault, they want to solve it by throwing pussy at the husband. Oh, you want some pussy? Nah, I don't want no pussy tonight. We're just having an argument. Can't solve everything with pussy. No.
Would you say she wants to throw pussy at you during an argument?
Yeah.
Because you want it.
Hold up. And then know it's their fault. They don't
you want it.
It's their fault. But yet they want to solve the argument by throwing the pussy at you. I'm like, no, I don't want no pussy tonight.
Oh, well, yeah. Women are so used to men only being one-dimensional. Yeah. Like, for so long, you guys are one-dimensional. You're in high school, you're one-dimensional. You're in college, some of y'all are one-dimensional. You're in your 20s, you're one-dimensional. You become two-dimensional once you get into your 30s, you acquire some depth to you once you're past 33, 34. Nah, there's exceptions. Some guys get it early. It depends on who's teaching them and who's talking to them.
Now let me ask you a question, because I know for you're a northerner, right? You're a northerner, so you may see, and you're old school, so we see things a little different. Now, as far as the dating, what do you call it? These dating apps and stuff like that, like the
Tinders and things.
Hook up
all these little things here. Like for me, I'm not even. Nah, that's not even me. I'm more old school, where I figure if you have a friend, you tell me about a friend, I can kind of get more of an understanding who that person is through you. You understand what I'm saying? Or I would hope that you're not gonna hook me up with some psycho. You know what I'm saying? But just have a random off of Tinder and all these different sites and all this stuff.
Oh, for Facebook, Instagram, and all that kind of crap.
Because what I'm noticing now from talking to a lot of fellas out here, all right, Tinder, and they educated me, a lot of the younger dudes now, that Tinder is a straight up situation. Like, there's no look, you know what we're here for. That's it. Boom.
Yeah.
While you have some other dating apps where they coming in and they're trying to find
a relationship.
They want to get married.
For instance, now, a guy that I know found a girl on Tinder, went to go meet the girl. The girl had like a 3-month-old she just had, or something like that. And she's like, oh, I just had a 3-month-old. But he's like, what? Come on, man. Like, yo, why you make me drive all the way over? And then she's telling him, I was looking for like a relationship. And I'm like, you looking for a relationship on Tinder? Are you crazy?
You just got a baby.
But that's the thing, where nowadays they're all this whole way of how they visualize as far as dating and relationships and all. It's very different from how we grew up.
Yeah, I mean, there were what's it called, Matchmaker or Match or whatever.
Match.com.
Yeah, Match. Some of these things have been around for a little while. I don't know what it is. People have had success on dating apps. It's giving them access to people they wouldn't bump into in the grocery store. If you're someone where you travel the same route all the time, you leave home, you go to work, you might stop at the same grocery store in your neighborhood, come home, here and there you go out somewhere. Now it's COVID-19, so that's made it more complicated. Some people are comfortable on the dating apps, and it's all kinds of, every demographics on there, old, young, black, white, everyone, men, women. So to me, it's like whatever makes you comfortable. It's just like, I don't see it any different than if I meet somebody in the library or at the gym or something like that. You don't know who they are. You met them. If you like how they look, they might ask for your number. You may decide to give it to them or whatever. I'm the type where I don't give my number out. If I bump into someone, they ask, can I get your number? No, sorry. If I see you around or whatever, and you're in my circle, maybe, but I just would not give my number out randomly. But I think it's sort of the same. If you bump into a stranger in the grocery store and they want to get acquainted and go out on a date, it's sort of similar to the dating app. You don't know who they are. It's a stranger. You're going out on a date. But the dating app, you get a little bit more. If it's true. If what they put in the profile is true.
How do you see the future going?
The profile can be they lie in their damn profile now.
That's fact.
Yeah. What did she say her sign was?
The what?
What did the doctor say her sign was?
I'm a water baby. I'm an Aquarius.
Oh.
I'm a free spirit. Very free spirited.
She looking you up.
So now let me ask you something. Look into the future now. What I'm seeing now is a lot of how can I put it? I always say it on this show where it's too many men hanging out by Victoria's Secrets and too many females in the Joe Boxers aisle.
Hell yeah.
What?
If you understand.
Why is that?
Yeah, explain.
Why are you looking at me like that? You never heard me say that?
No.
You crazy.
So he means a lot of females wearing Joe Boxers.
There's too many guys nowadays hanging out in front of Victoria's Secrets and too many girls hanging out in the Joe boxes aisle. Do you not understand where I'm coming from? What I'm saying is there's too many dudes nowadays that are not being men.
Exactly.
You understand? You're not being a man about your situation. And there's too many females now that is wearing trousers, pants. You know what I'm saying? It's like right now it's turning to the point right now where sooner or later it's gonna be men on one side of the street and females on one side of the street. And we're just looking at each other. We seeing it already in the parties.
It's already there.
We go to parties nowadays. You want to dance with a girl? Oh no.
I'm here with my friends.
She's here dancing with 10 million females. It's like, yo, why you here?
That's
Exactly. So it's like, I'm not trying to take you home. I just came to dance. That's what we come to.
Yeah. We'll keep it moving.
But that's the thing. And slowly you're starting to see this thing where men now are getting turned off by females because of all the game. Everybody's running these little scam games. They're getting married. They're getting divorced. They doing. Nah, I mean, you laughing, but yo, there's a lot of men out here. You talk. I'm pretty sure, Dr. Delvena, you've come across dozens. Okay, because guys now are so. I just found one organization. What do they call them? MGTOW. Men.
What the hell is that?
MGTOW, something like that. That basically men are just, they don't want nothing to do with females now. One dude is saying, like, if he got on the elevator and a female got on, he gets off.
Oh my gosh.
You can't trust them nowadays. He's like, yo, I can't trust them. They might say, I sexually assaulted them. Men are at to that point now. Like, it's getting to that point now because too many guys are getting railroaded. There was one, I was just listening to one today. A female in London, she asked her next door neighbor to babysit for her. The guy babysit, didn't charge her, and she wrote to her like a podcast or something, asking him, do they think that she could probably take this to court and have him get hit for child support?
Oh, the foster kid or the adopted kid, yeah.
And I'm like,
how?
Wait, hold on. She asked.
No, the question would be, why would you do that?
Yeah, she asked him to babysit, and she said, "Do you think I can take him to court and get custody? I mean, get a child support."
Child support.
Wow.
Now,
hold up, from the babysitter.
The babysitter. So this is what I'm saying right now. Men are so, now it's like, like in Friday when it was like, you want some of this? This is the girls' accident. You want some of this? You're like, no. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where we are nowadays. You talk to a lot of guys, it's like they just don't want the headache no more. You know what I'm saying? We don't want the headache no more.
That's a whole different show, John.
No, I understand that. What I'm leading
that sounds like that's really deep.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is,
Get to the point.
at the end of the day, it's just saying that in society, for us to coexist with each other, reproduce, and different things like that, we have to come to some middle ground on things. You know what I'm saying? Because right now, we are so disconnected, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
As a whole, I guess we just need more nurturing, right?
And I would say, if you're going somewhere where there's women and you want to dance and you ask a lady to dance and she tells you, I'm here with my girls, maybe that ain't the right place to hang out.
Exactly.
Like, yeah. Or maybe she just didn't like how you looked. It could be that too. Like, instead of just saying no, it could have just been like, okay, I'm not even feeling you, dude. Keep it moving. Like, there's a lot of different reasons for that type of thing.
All right. So to wrap up, last question, and we're out.
Got it.
Now, first date on Valentine's, being that Sunday's Valentine's Day, very first date, Dutch, fluff, or plush? Let me explain it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why all the females always got to have some look like this all the time?
Because we're trying to figure out what is what.
Dutch, let me explain.
Just be straightforward and say what you want. The communication is there.
You gotta make it entertaining. You gotta make it entertaining.
Go ahead,
John.
Damn, why the fellas? Okay, Dutch, of course, Dutch is Dutch.
They're not doing it.
Fluff is just where, you're sitting there, you're like, damn, I ain't really come to pay all this today, but I guess.
Ask for Dutch. Ask for fluff.
Okay, then the plush, meaning like, yo, don't even worry about it.
I don't need no plush.
Get what you gotta get, because I'm gonna get what I gotta get. And which one is it? So now on the first, why are you looking like, you know what? I'm talking to the doctor. You can block all the rest of them out. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to see y'all. I'm talking. So for first date,
Plush.
you say what? Plush? You want plush?
Plush.
Okay, well, you know what it said. Red Lobster. You know how it go.
No, Red Lobster.
Dr. Delvena.
Dr. Delvena, what?
I forgot I'm not even going out.
Are you asking me what I recommend for the date?
Yeah, first date.
The first date?
Yeah, first date.
The first date.
Should a Dutch thing, should that be implemented?
No, not on the first date. You got to be a gentleman.
Okay.
You got to be a gentleman. You pay for that first date. I told you I'm old school. You pay for that date.
All right.
So the first date, you can decide. I mean, I guess it depends, right? Or is this a date because she's like a homie, you want to hang out, or is this a date you want to get to know her, make her your girl,
and
then stay in a relationship and maybe take it to the next level? So it depends on, women should understand. And so let me back up, because people have game. Sometimes a dude will take you somewhere super nice and plush, like you're saying, to make you think he's seriously interested, but he's really just trying to get them draws. So you cannot go by where he takes you as to direct you in terms of intention. So that's why I say it takes time. You got to develop the relationship, because past practice predicts future behaviors. Past practice predicts future behavior. So you got to give it time and watch how he moves. If you really like someone, though, on a first date, it doesn't have to be an expensive place. You could really make something super nice. You could have her meet you at the beach, at the park, have a meal that you prepared for her, whatever, lay it out, have a nice picnic with some wine or champagne, whatever, determine what she likes. Because I think most women are, well, I'm not going to say that, not most. Some women are considerate of budgeting and money and finances, and especially during COVID-19. The thing I disagree with, though, and I'll openly state this, is women who expect the men to pay each and every time that you go out. I have 2 older brothers, so that's why I'm pro man. I'm pro gentleman. I have 2 older brothers. It's just not right. Every time you go out, the chick think the dude is supposed to pay. You got to have some balance.
I like your style.
Yeah,
I like your style.
You got to bring her back, player.
I got to somewhere or another. Me and Nora's gonna put some money together, see if we can yeah, we gotta get you back, but we gotta clone. We need clone.
Yeah, y'all look cool. I could pick it with y'all. Another more time, whatever. I like sassy. Leah's cool with her 1 week.
Most definitely. I want to thank you for joining.
Wait. We gotta let the viewers know to check out Dr. Delvena on her Brain Love podcast on Sunday night.
Yes.
Go ahead and plug it.
I love your show. I love it.
Oh, thank you. Well, first, show me love. Go on YouTube. I'm Dr. Delvena Thomas. If you start typing Delvena, the way it's spelled here, Thomas. I'm on YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I also have a podcast. It's the Brain Love, LOVE podcast. And it's on all podcast platforms, Spotify, Pandora, iHeart Radio, Google, Apple, and it's on Anchor. So it's powered off of Anchor. And you can follow me on social media, Instagram, Dr. Delvena, Twitter, Facebook, and I'm on Clubhouse as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm gonna have you come back.
Yay!
I do want to discuss one of your podcasts that was crazy, the sex doll, but I'm not even gonna get into it.
Oh yeah. That was like
quite interesting
most of the time. Speechless. This
Priceless.
was really banging a doll.
Priceless.
I saw a
$2,000 doll.
Yes.
Yes,
man.
I'm like, damn. I'm like, really? What? Damn.
Yeah. Oh, you know what I did love is his wife in the background. That's what I did love.
The damn dog.
Yes.
He was banging the head out the damn dog. Damn it.
The dog started saying, "Get me out of here." I heard the dog say that. When the wife said it's going back, the dog said, "Yes, please." Dr. Delvena, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Well, welcome anytime. Live at the
right.
barbershop. Thank you so much. Yo, you can find us on all platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Anchor, Spotify, iTunes, and of course, iHeart Radio. Thank you very much for joining us. We hope you have a fruitful Valentine's Day. You know what I'm saying? You
Thanksgiving
guys,
weekend.
A plush Valentine.
yeah, we're gonna start calling it Thanksgiving Valentine. Thank you, Dr. Delvena. Thank you, Sassy. Thank you, Aaliyah and Mr. J. Thank you so much. Thank you. God bless you. Stay safe.
Go out in the world and be somebody.